Welcome to the SVG TV News for Tuesday, January 31st. With the details tonight, I'm Khalil Kato. In our lead story, St. Vincent and the Grenadines recorded its first road fatality for the year today on the Grenadine island of Bequia. The deceased has been identified as 63-year-old American citizen Elizabeth Watt Sampson, who resides in Bequia. Police say reports are that a white Daihatsu motor vehicle driven by Watt Sampson was traveling along the Spring Industrial Estate public road to Port Elizabeth when it went over an embankment. Watt Sampson succumbed to her injuries sustained in the accident, which occurred at around midday. A post-mortem examination is expected to be carried out on the body to ascertain the exact cause of death. The police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the fatal accident. And the death of Daniel Isaacs, a 43-year-old man of New Montrose, has become the fourth homicide recorded in the country for 2023. Police say reports indicate that on Sunday at about 11:30 a.m., Isaacs was at a shop in Sion Hill when a masked assailant approached and shot him about the body. A post-mortem examination is expected to be carried out to ascertain the exact cause of death. Persons with information that can assist with the investigations are encouraged to contact the police, who say all information received will be treated confidentially. In more police news, we hear that the Traffic Department has launched investigations into several videos that are being circulated on social media depicting motorists engaged in dangerous and reckless driving on public roads. The SVG police force is assuring the general public that after the investigations are completed, the culprits will be held accountable according to the law. Noting that the roads in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are not racetracks, the police say that they are to be used with due care and attention and consideration for other users. The SVG police force is calling on all motorists to desist from this reckless behavior and drive carefully and responsibly on the public roads. The 36 members were enrolled into the Layou Police Youth Club at its 10th anniversary celebration ceremony held on Sunday at the Layou Police Station. In his address at the ceremony, Commissioner of Police Colin John said 10 years is a significant achievement in any organization and congratulates the Layou Police Youth Club on achieving this milestone. He also congratulated the 36 youngsters who have been inducted into the club. The Commissioner said the theme of the celebration, Building Youths for a Brighter Tomorrow, is very relevant and timely, noting that the SVGPF is pointing the members of the youth clubs in the right direction to achieve their full potential.
As members of the Police Youth Club, we try as far as possible for you to derive some practical benefits. We have the training, we have the summer program, we have the various programs, the camps and those things. Also, we have seen the Police Youth Club, we have assisted members of the Police Youth Club who have been successful in the CPA with books and other items for schools. We have also assisted where persons may be ill or they have some social challenges. The police force have assisted in that regard. We have had barbecues and stuff where particular members may have some illness and they need medical attention. We have tried to raise funds to assist those families. We have also seen members of the Police Youth Club. It's a direct policy of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force, where persons who are members of the Police Youth Club and have achieved the age and have the requisite qualification, they are given preferences to join the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force. So that is something that we from the members of the Police Youth Club.
Commissioner John also told the youngsters they should develop high self-esteem, noting that the value they place on themselves is the value others will place on them.
So if you think that you are important, if you think that you are a significant person, and you act that way, that's the value that other people place on you. But if you think that you are no good, other persons will place that value on you as well. So just remember that once you're comfortable in your skin, you don't have to bother how other persons feel about you. You are going to school now and you have to be disciplined. I often say, listening is the first part of learning. So when your teachers are imparting knowledge to you, you have to ensure that you listen and that you grasp that education so that you will be able to, when the time for assessment comes, you'll be able to do the right thing and ensure that you get a very high grade. So I just want to leave these few words with you and thank you for being a part of the Police Youth Club. We give you maximum support and we look forward to another 10 years and another 10 years after that.
The keynote address at the ceremony was delivered by Shafia London Williams, who, in congratulating the Liu Police Youth Club on its 10th anniversary, said what is even more encouraging is that the milestone is about transforming the lives of the young people and making them better.
So your theme for today could not have been more fitting. But also I want to say congratulations to Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force for ensuring that these youth clubs are active and that you're actually building more at the current time. Important because I think people view policing as always correcting and always on the end after something happens. But policing actually should begin by your integration in the community and how you mold the citizens. And so this is a striking example of you doing a great job in ensuring your work is going to be a lot more productive and you will spend more time in the community, working with the community as opposed to correcting. So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best with that, and I hope that you continue, and any support that we can give, like everyone else says, you can count on us.
At the ceremony, 10 food baskets were also distributed to 10 members of the club, sponsored by the National Lotteries Authority, the East Caribbean Group of Companies, and Nature Care Limited. 8 members of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force today are celebrating 20 years of service in the organization. A news release says on Friday, January 31st, 2003, 6 men and 4 women were sworn into the force and subsequently departed the state for Barbados on the following day to commence their initial training course at the Regional Police Training Center. Today, remaining members of course number 118 in SVG, who are celebrating 20 years of service, include Assistant Superintendent of Police, ASP Thecla Andrews Thomas, Station Sergeant Ashlyn Bristol, Corporals Valdino Jack, Carolyn May, Devon Butte, Noland Barker, and Constables Carla Bergen and Andy Trimmingham. The Police Public Relations Department says to commemorate the milestone, the officers started the week by giving God thanks and praise at the Church of God of Prophecy in Peruvian Vale on Sunday, and will be participating in several social activities, including a picnic in celebration of the occasion. ASP Andrews Thomas noted that while the occasion demands celebration, she also reflected on the passing of their course mate, the late Aichal Muckett, who passed away years ago in a motor vehicular accident in Anguilla. The release from the Public Relations Office says the Commissioner of Police, Colin John, the gazetted officers, and other ranks of the RSVG-PF extend congratulations to the members of Course 118 on their achievement and contribution to SVG and wishes them all the best in their future endeavors. The contractor on the port modernization project says they are on schedule with works on the site in Rose Place. As we hear in this report by Larissa Pugsley-Kidd, installation of the offshore section of the new sewer line is underway as the contractor and his team continue to prepare a laydown space which will eventually see a temporary jetty and bridge constructed in the area.
9 months into the construction of the port modernization project, 10% of total works is reportedly complete. Aecon Construction Group Incorporated is carrying out works. The laying of sewer pipelines offshore is underway, and according to Aecon's project manager Tam Smith, works are on schedule.
The commissioning of the pipe, the sewer water pipe, it has to happen before anything else can happen because it runs underneath the footprint of the existing port, where the new port is going to go. So we have to do that first, and that's on schedule for. It has to be done before the dredging can start, and it's currently showing that it's going to be finished in advance of the dredging. We're currently working on the placement of the pipeline along Rose Place, along the beach at Rose Place, and then it goes there. From there it goes offshore by about 900 metres. If you see the barge over in the water there, that barge is doing the installation of the offshore pipe. So we've already installed 450 metres of the pipeline.
Smith explains that underwater concrete mattresses are concurrently being placed on the pipes.
The divers and the installation team, they've been working well. They started laying it last week. So what they do is they float off strings of pipeline into the water about 150 metres long, join them up into longer sections, 450, and then they sink it down onto the seabed in one. It means that the divers are not trying to joint things underwater, which is a lot more difficult than on the barge.
Meanwhile, the project manager clarifies that Rose Place is not where the new cargo port will be built, but rather construction is being done there to be used as laydown space, where eventually a temporary jetty and a bridge will be built.
That land will be used to store the piles that will be used for the new port. Those will come in. We will build a temporary jetty along here, and the piles will be delivered to the Geese jetty, and then we will transport them by barge round to our temporary jetty, and they'll be offloaded and stored here, and then we will use them as we require. What we got here is to transport them from the storage area, we have to put in a temporary bridge across the existing river that runs down McCoy Street, so that we don't have to go onto the public roads. So that's being installed. That's what you see here behind me.
In about 3 months' time, the reclamation of land will commence where the new port will be constructed.
So that's, as I said, it's about 1 million cubic metres of material, and that will extend out 130 metres long, and from the corner here at McCoy to the Fisherman's Jetty. So once that happens not in February, that should start in March, April. Once that starts, then you see a lot of progress happening. Like I say, it's about 1 million cubic metres of sand, but we take it in very, very shallow layers so that we don't disturb any of the ecosystems or the shorelines adjacent to where we're dredging.
80 persons are employed by the project, of which 40 are Vincentians. The port modernization project is being built to the tune of 600 million EC dollars. The baseline completion is slated for May 2025. Larissa Pugsley-Kidd, SVG TV News.
Today marks the opening of a 3-day participatory planning workshop on ecosystem-based adaptation and blue-green economic development in the south coast of St. Vincent. The workshop at the Sunset Shores Hotel Conference Room is being hosted by the Caribbean Natural Resources Institute, CANARI, in collaboration with the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority, the Forestry Department, the Fisheries Division, the SVG Hotel and Tourism Association, and the National Fisherfolk Organization. The workshop forms part of the preparatory work for the implementation of a 3-year project entitled Pioneering a Blue-Green Economic Development Model for Coastal Adaptation, Livelihood and Sustainability in St. Vincent. Executive Director of CANARI, Nicole Leotard, said that they are happy to be partnering with the various organizations locally, as the project will help to make a transformative shift in SVG.
Remember that St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Caribbean, and indeed the whole world is still in a period of great upheaval and uncertainty. We are facing multiple intertwined crises, from the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic, but that is on top of rising inequalities, social crisis, ongoing biodiversity loss, ecosystem degradation and collapse, and the very serious impacts of climate change facing us small islands. St. Vincent and the Grenadines and other Caribbean countries, unfortunately, have limited resources and are constrained in our ability to respond to these threats, which fundamentally change our ability to deliver socio-economic development and ensure quality of life for our Caribbean citizens. But I would argue we are facing an unprecedented opportunity now. We need to radically change the way we manage the environment, pursue economic development, and seek a more just and equitable society. This need is more urgent and critical than ever before.
Leotard said the project will adopt a landscape approach to address key risks from climate change and land-based pollution within the South Coast Marine Conservation Area and surrounding watersheds in St. Vincent, which will be of benefit to 7 local communities.
We will work together to deliver real change on the ground through innovative approaches, institutions, and enterprises. We will enhance stewardship of the beautiful, rich natural ecosystems, which are key resources for local economic development and human well-being in the South Coast. We will use nature-based solutions to build resilience to climate change and associated natural disasters which threaten our lives and livelihoods so critically. We will strengthen local green-blue enterprises, especially in the fisheries and tourism sector, to deliver triple bottom-line benefits for the local economy, for the environment, for society and communities, and also help these businesses to adapt to the threats of climate change. Through these actions and working in close collaboration with local partners, we hope that this project will support your ongoing efforts to transform to a more inclusive, sustainable, and resilient socio-economic development in the South Coast. And we think that this will be a model for the rest of the Caribbean and inspire the rest of us to follow your lead.
The project is funded by the Caribbean Biodiversity Fund, the International Climate Initiative of the German Federal Ministry for Environment, Nature Conservation, and Nuclear Safety through KfW. The promotion of Vincy Mas should be done early to give persons an opportunity to prepare in advance for which of the events they will attend or participate in. This is according to SVG's Consul General in Canada, C.G. Fitzhuggins, who offered the advice on NBC Radio today to the Carnival Development Corporation on its promotion strategy for Vincy Mas 2023 and beyond.
To make the point that we should have already started to see the promotion of Vincy Mas this year.
Yes. Yeah.
People have to plan earlier. When I was in my previous job, I always encouraged the CDC to start promoting Vincy Mas 5 years in 5 years, So we can't wait for this year to talk about the team for this year. We should be talking about Vincy Mas promoted in 5-year blocks, so people could say, okay, I'm going to Vincy Mas 2026 because this, so they could be planning in 23 for 26. So I hope they take that as good advice. And the next thing is that I know in New York, C.G. McIntosh will talk about he has the biggest gathering of diasporans at his New York. Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa. They have the biggest gathering of Vincentians and Caribbean people at our Vincy picnic and this year it's always, you can always plan it's the second Saturday after Vincy Mas.
Vincy Mas 2023 will run from June 30th to July 11th.